How's everyone doing tonight? Just getting settled in. We're going to be painting up all the details on our, well, we're going to be doing the base paints, the base layer on all the green for our Necron boys, our little Necron troops we got going on. And we're going to be starting with the white ones today. The black ones are going to be specifically for, we're going to do, I was thinking about like a hot pink. I bought some really good, let's see, what did I get? Some purplish pink. I got a layer of Phoenician purple that we got, and then we have to put on top of those. We're gonna put some Fulgrim pink on there. But yeah, I think we're gonna start with a base of moot green, and then after that we're gonna put on a layer of warpstone glow to really add a nice deeper green to our boys. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of a better zoom in for you guys. There we go. Let's see, where are we? Oh, I can actually paint real comfortably now. I need more of a zoom though. You guys really need to be able to see this. There we go. That's way better. So we're actually going to be using a very tiny brush to really make sure we get in those recesses. That's a little bit too thick. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one right here. Something like that to really get in those recesses. Always shake your paints. Don't ever forget. And we're not going to need too much, because it is going to be mostly just detailing the eyes, the chest, and the gun, and that's pretty much it. You know, I do some dabs. I get a little pile going on my wet palette, and we're just going to add a little water to it, kind of thin it out. There we go. And we're just going to get to work painting up these boys. Now, unlike last time, I'm actually going to start with the gun last, because I don't know, I just don't want it to get on my fingers while I'm trying to move the model around. So I'm actually going to start with the chest way down deep in here, and just get started. Now this I probably won't cover up with the green of any spillage, because I'm going to dry brush it later for a glow effect. We don't want any stark lines to get rid of the illusion. But we're also not too worried about how much is spreading out. And with the little ankh here, I like to just take the side of my brush and get all the little lines that jut out. A little piece of hair, that happens. Just gonna get right on in there. I will be going over this again with that warpstone glow, and I'm also gonna add some yellow to kind of give it a glow effect, like it's shooting down, kind of give it a lime looking effect. Hope everyone's having a good night. I hope everyone is looking forward to the weekend. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I actually have a schedule now. I'm going to be trying to stream every Tuesday and Thursday for the foreseeable future. So if y'all tune in Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can catch your boy War Painter. We'll painting up some more Hammer figures. And trying to give y'all the best tips along the way. And like I said earlier with the chest, the gun, similar thing. We're really not too worried if we're spilling over, because I'm going to dry brush that later. I got a stray thread already. There we go. And anything you don't like with your model, you can always touch up later. Don't be afraid of the touch up process. It's a very important part of the painting process. My least favorite part is getting into these eye recesses that they have. That's going to be a pain in the ass right there. There we go. A nice little glow effect going. Uh-oh, stream's acting funny. This hasn't happened in a while. One moment, everybody. There we go. Hopefully that helped fix it. Oh. Now these are new. Like I've said before, they used to have those green rods that you could just stick on there. So these little bulbs and stuff, I'm not used to. Actually, I don't feel comfortable using that little green. It's going to add a little more green to it. To the wet palette. So I don't know why I don't just like take some. There you go. It is storming a bit where I'm at, so pardon any interruptions that might happen. Here we go. Always make sure you get the other side. You know, you don't want to leave any you don't want to leave anything behind. Want to make sure that warrior is fully painted. You know, I don't want to know what I want to do with this. I might make the blade here also green because a lot of the Cryptek, not Cryptek, excuse me, the Scorpec destroyers, they have those wave blades. I might do a similar thing here. You know, make this all green, but whenever I come back and do that warpstone glow, I might just highlight the edges and do a little bit of yellow too, right at the front line right here where the blade is. So I think that's what we're gonna do with these guys. A nice thin layer of this green on top, and then come back over it with that other green, the warpstone. It's a little thick. Let's thin this out on both sides. But just adding a bit of color, I mean, look at that. Look how much better our model looks now that we have a touch of color to him. He looks noticeably better. And the dry brushing is really going to make him look fantastic. And that's all we're doing for all the models. That's the treatment they're getting. So y'all strap in. It's going to be riveting. Honestly, this brush is giving me a bit of trouble with that extra thread. I might have to switch out brushes here. I'm really not liking that at all. Let's see, how thin are you? This is pretty good. We'll do this one. Another one of those flat brush. I like the flathead brushes a lot. So we'll do this next. Some color on our brush, and away we go. There's a lot of excess. Let's get that off there. There we go. It is a bit thicker. Normally, I wouldn't have a problem with it, especially now since we're going to be putting that dry brush effect over it. But I'm not a big fan of how it's normally. In other circumstances, I'd be a little bit more like aware of it. I didn't realize my autofocus was off this whole time, guys. Man, I tell you, I gotta get a camera dedicated. This whole using the phone thing is really not helping out. There we go, autofocus on. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This might be trickier with the dots, but we'll see. I don't know if I just kind of dab it in there. Here we go. It's amazing what just throwing a little bit of color on there can really do for your model. To me, this is one of my favorite parts about painting is when it really starts coming together. And you can really see the vision that you played out at the beginning start to take hold. Here we go. go. There we go. I just gotta get this other side. There we go. Yeah, some of these songs are actually pretty good. You know, I know it's just the generic pretzel music, but I think it's pretty good. I really like what Games Workshop did with these Necron models that have like missing eyes or something like that. They used to not be a thing, you know. It used to just all be generic models. You know, I'm growing as a painter with you guys, and I think the way to go is to use a mix of these two brushes. Because this is definitely working in some aspects, but not in others for sure. Oh, yeah, some of this music's actually pretty nice. I try to find something not only copyright free, but also good for painting. I'll take requests, you know, if there's a different genre anyone's interested in, please let me know. I'll be happy to change it. Pretzel has a lot of different selections for sure, so So we can absolutely find something people want to listen to. I think there are just a few things. There's not very many things that are as bad as listening to music that you just do not like. Well, who doesn't listen to music they don't like on occasion, though, right? Is there any type of music any of you guys that find particularly you're not a fan of? I'm not particularly a fan of country. I mean, there's some that I like, but for the most part, it's a genre I'm not really for in any way. But for the most part, I'll take just about anything. I like pretty much all forms of music, especially weird music. I like weird music. I listen to a lot of nerdcore rap, like MC Front a lot and Optimus Rhyme. They're a lot of fun. I love Primus though. Primus is definitely one of my all-time favorite bands. The things he can do with a guitar. That's not Les Claypool, but or maybe it is. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's Claypool. I can't quite remember. If anyone knows the lead singer slash bass player for Primus, please let me know. I'm pretty sure it's Claypool, right? He's on a whole other level when it comes to playing a bass guitar, I think. If there are any other Primus fans out there, please let me know. I always love to talk Primus. I'm a big fan of rap music. I love the history of it. I love the people that started it. I'm just a big fan. Although rap is such a popular genre now, I feel like there was that backlash for a long time where people were like just didn't like rap for whatever reason. But I don't know. Now that I'm older, it's like why? It's like a very influential, very entertaining form of music. Go. Looking real nice, these Necrons. What's everyone else painting right now? Does anyone else have any paint projects they want to talk about? Anything in particular they're looking forward to painting or have been painting? Now's the time, I think, with everything going on in the world. There's not going to be a better time to paint than right now. Actually, I keep switching, but I actually bought myself a while ago a very expensive. I mean, look at this thing. It's like it's in two different cases. You gotta you gotta pop this off to get it out, and then it has its own cover still. So let's give this a shot. It's a very small, thin brush, but it's a good brush though. It's made out of actual hair, first of all, which is makes it the nicest brush I own. So let's see how it does its job. Excuse me, chat. All right. Well, it gets right in there. Absolutely perfect for these Necron warriors. Not gonna lie, guys, I'm actually very excited to start painting that Royal Warden. It's a very, very cool looking model. I haven't been able to get the codex yet. Every time I try to get the damn codex, it's always sold out or something. I hope to get it soon, but who knows? And like usual, today we're just gonna be doing this base coat, and then we'll do the do more the other day. We usually try to do one thing at a time per stream. And again, I hope one day to have like a longer session where maybe we paint a whole bunch of models at once. But for right now, especially with my setup, I'm only gonna be doing so much at a time. There we go. Again, your model is gonna look real crude at every step. And then once you start adding in the little effects like the dry brushing and the tints of yellow and things like that, it's really, really going to start looking like an actual model. It's all about patience and perseverance when it comes to painting. Your model is never in a state where you don't want it to be because you always have the opportunity to go back and put whatever you want on it. So it's never finished until you're satisfied. So don't ever think that at any point during the process it's just not coming out right. You can always fix it. Go. And that moot green really pops. So, oh yeah, a while ago I mentioned that I got this brush, and the guy at Games Workshop told me about paint soap. Well, I watched this woman who's been painting with acrylics for about 30 years, and she says all she does is rinse her brushes out real well, and she uses Dawn dish soap, and it just cleans them right up. So I gave it a shot yesterday because I got plenty of the Dawn dish soap, and what do you know? It works out perfectly. So I think that's the move, is to just use Dawn dish soap. It's cheap, and I mean, who doesn't have some lying around the house? Let's spread this paint out on the brush a bit, get a little bit deeper in, so when I paint on the side here, it's not as thick, and it just kind of brushes the color on the raised ankh here. And there you go. There you have it, as they say. I think the next thing that we're going to do before we add that other layer on the green and start dry brushing is on the next stream we're going to go over the silver, the lead belcher on the gun. So that way the gun is finished when we decide to start adding the effects of all the warp stone and things like that. You know, this jazz song kind of sounds like the old Clifford the Big Red Dog cartoon music. I don't know if anyone watched that on PBS Kids, but that's what it sounds like to me. I used to love that show as a kid. What kind of shows did you guys like? Did you guys like shows like that? Anyone out there watch PBS Kids growing up, like Cyber Chase and stuff like that? Word Girl. Well, Word Girl's a little bit past my time, but my sister really liked that show. When I had to watch her, guess what I was watching? Yep, Word Girl. Yeah, Cyber Chase had no right being as good as it was. Cyber Chase is a pretty solid show. I'm a nerd. I kind of actually really like those live action sections with that one guy where he'd always have like some sort of problem that he needed to fix with cyber math or something. He was really cool. I liked him. Okay. I gotta say, I miss the rots, but these new designs are really starting to grow on me. Well, particularly the Gauss rifle. Or, excuse me, Gauss Flare. That's what they're technically called, right? Oh, we might have a slight casualty. Man, these little peg things. I'm not a fan of the new design. I don't like these peg. I'm just not a fan. I like gluing them in personally. Not a fan of the peg thing they decided to do with these. I think it's just for the Indomitus set, but if the other Necrons, like you buy individual boxes of, are like that, I mean, I'll put up with it, but no, I'm just not a fan of it. Who knows? It might be my words eventually, but right now, not a fan of these. These plug in and put together situations. There we go. So I was talking with some friends the other day, and they reminded me of a movie that I haven't seen in quite a while. That if none of y'all have seen, I highly recommend checking out. It's called Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and it's just a little horror, not like horror, but it's a horror comedy show. It's literally just about a bunch of a strung along series of misunderstandings, and it makes for a really funny movie. It's about these two hillbillies that bought a little lake house together, and they're out there to fix it up and get it back in working order to enjoy their summer, drinking beer, and they'll have their own little lake to fish, and sounds like a nice little hangout, right? Well, these kids decide that they're gonna go and hang out there too. And well, through a series of misunderstandings, a lot of people die. So I highly recommend checking it out. If you're good for a laugh, it's good for a really good laugh, and it's just a fun little movie. Very creative. Very creative film. And again, it's not even scary. I mean, it's a little gory, but not really. But it's all played for laughs. Like as I said, in a sense, you follow the quote unquote killers, but they're not really. You got to watch the movie, but it's a good film. And that's not a spoiler. I mean, the movie, that's the whole thing's about. We're getting into the whiplash jazz. A lot more free form, random, and annoying, in my personal opinion. Well, after this, guys, we only have a couple models left for today. I started a bit late. Part of that was set up. I'll definitely be streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but to make up for a lot of time, I'm probably gonna. It's not gonna be as regular, so I'm not gonna put it like on the schedule yet. But I'm probably gonna be also doing this during the weekend, so we can really make sure these are getting done pretty quick, and then we can move on to the other models that I have. Because this is just the first part of the Indomitus set. I bought two Indomitus sets because I was privileged enough to have our store just be have an overabundance of them to the point that my my local gaming store is actually selling each Indominus box for $100 a piece, over about half what they're actually being sold for. So I got lucky in that regard. So I have two of them, and we got a lot of models to paint. There we go. Oh, that's about as best I can do right now. Got a little bit on his forehead there, but mistakes happen. Oops, almost forgot to do a little detail on the gun here with the other brush. All right, we just got one more for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh. And then after this, only 20 more to go. But like I said, I'll probably definitely be catching up on the weekend here. Make sure we get all these done in time. Well, not in time, but at a better pace than what we're going at. I just grabbing everything and throwing it around, aren't I? Let's get to it. This guy's really messed up. He's got a really messed up eye, and part of his skull's missing. Like I said, I really do like what they did with the models in terms of giving us more variety in how they look and things like that, but I'm just not a big fan of the peg thing they have going on. I'm probably the minority, but it's just not for me, It's just not my style. What would y'all think if they had options? Like you can either get them pegged or not, but for the same price. I'm curious if anyone would what people would feel about that. And again, don't be worried about some spillway. You can always cover it up, but if anything here, we kind of want it so that way later when we do our glow effect, it looks a little bit more like the lights coming off of this really pop. I watched that Shape of Water movie today. That's a weird movie. And apparently Guillermo del Toro is very adamant that it has nothing to do with Hellboy, but come on. I think we're all in agreement that that's definitely Abe from Hellboy. Or at least his species, you know what I mean? There we go. I'm gonna add a little green here on his skull. And if I can, if I could learn how to paint these next few seconds. There we go. There we go, guys. We got 10 good looking models. Looking nice with the base paint of green on there. Well, everyone, I want to thank everyone again that joined me. And as always, these will be uploaded onto YouTube for anyone that wants to see. And yeah, like I said, I should be more consistent. We got a Tuesday and Thursday schedule going on now, and we'll see how that goes. And I'll be painting more on the weekends to kind of catch up with our pace, make things run a little smoothly. But I just want to wish everyone a good night. This is the War Painter signing off, wishing everyone a wonderful tonight and a pleasant tomorrow. See y'all next time.